Hello, and thank you for coming to Chamber University. Today, we have a presentation from Fearless Coaching Group's President and CEO, Edwin Quijada.
Close enough, Robert.
It's good enough. I'm getting closer with that. To talk to us, he's going to talk about the power of emotional intelligence, the true power within. With that, I'll pass it over to you, Edwin. Thank you.
Super. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. And good morning, everybody. I really appreciate each one of you taking the time to be part of this and learn together, specifically around emotional intelligence. Um, I think that before we actually get into what emotional intelligence is, and I'm sure all of you are dying to get into that, I really want to acknowledge where we are right now because I think it's important and is entirely related to emotional intelligence. And we realized that this past few weeks, they have been probably the most difficult weeks that we've seen in quite some time, specifically as we deal with COVID-19 and all its ramifications, both real and perceived. Um, it is a difficult times for all of us, but specifically for the business owners. If you think about it, it's very easy to give in to fears to overreact, or even just to stick our head in the sand and hoping the things will just go away. Um, I think that if you're like me and you spend enough time on the social media, you probably have seen a lot of examples of these approaches. The one thing that I can tell you is that in my work with business owners and leaders, um, the one thing that often comes up is how to show up as a business owner and as a leader in times of uncertainty. But more importantly, how to be as you deal with these uncertain times. And emotional intelligence comes in. So if we really go into the emotional intelligence realm, is everywhere. Everything begins and ends in our brain. Everything that we do, every action that we take, or every action that we do not take, is directly related to what we are feeling in that specific moment. So, what is this thing that we call it emotional intelligence? And what do we do to stay away from specifically those well-known traps that oftentimes comes on the time of crisis? And what I want to do right now, as we go through it, I really want to dedicate some time for us to understand some of those most common mind traps that all of us at any given time have dealt with, are dealing with, or will be dealing with. And what we need to do specifically as we find ourselves in these times of crisis is to understand what is your current state of mind. Because how you view things right now is how you do things. And it's funny because as I'm telling you this, a recent conversation that I had with my brother comes to mind. So at the beginning of this pandemic, I called my brother. He's 1 year older. And he is one of those individuals that negative about the things that happen and kind of a victim of circumstances. So I called him. You know, I'm a loving brother like that. I called him just to check on him. And I said, hey, so how you doing? How you feeling? And he's went in his rant. I can't believe this is happening. I had so many things planned out and now it's not going to happen. And, you know, why me? Why me? And very negative, right? Thought of a state of mind. And we talked a little bit further. I spent time listening to him. And then I told him, listen, I want to check back on you in a couple of weeks. But you might want to change the way you're seeing things right now because it's not healthy, and try to do something productive for you. So I intentionally did not call him when I mentioned that I was going to, and I allowed more time to go by. And within about 12 days, I called him again. And I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, when he answered the phone in a very cheerful mood. And I said, "Hey, how are you?" And he says, "I'm good." He says, "I'm here saving the world." So he realized that he has not changed nothing about his environment. He's still locked in. He's still dealing with the thing that he was dealing before, but his perception about his reality was different. And the moment he decided to understand how he was feeling, he gave himself the